What up, guys? Your boy Quake back with a brand new episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast, number 311, powered by the one and only Golden Eagle Energy Drinks. Get your Golden Eagle Energy Drinks at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. That's drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. They sponsored all season 4 of the podcast, so show them love for showing us love. Now, let's get into the news immediately. I am recording this in the morning because I'm trying to get this Diddy documentary finished. I am in the final stages, so I've been grinding all day. I was actually supposed to have an artist come here and do an interview on the podcast, but we've rescheduled. I've rescheduled with him probably, I want to say 4 or 5 times. Not just me, but him as well. We've both rescheduled. This has probably been the worst scheduling, but it's all good. It happens. When artists hit me up to do interviews, they'll reschedule. I'll sometimes reschedule. For me, it's more rare, but if I got a project like this that's major going on, I tend to focus on that. And then there's a sponsor on the actual video, so they have deadlines and timelines where I have to drop it within this month. It has to come out in August. So it's almost done. I'm trying to just power through these last stages because once you get into the editing stage, you're kind of, for the most part, burnt out because you're doing research, then you're doing recording the audio, then you're doing the editing. And since it's the last process, it does start to burn you out. So yeah, I'm just in the last stages of that. That's why I'm recording it in the morning. So if I miss anything later on today, that whatever happens, then it is what it is. Unless it's something major, I'll obviously come back and record. But yeah, let's get into the news. Travis Scott has asked the judge to dismiss his Miami trespassing case over technicalities. Now, the interesting thing about this lawsuit or whatever this was, I think, or charge that he got for disorderly intoxication trespassing, is there was body cam video footage of the incident released from police. And to be honest with you, I watched about, I want to say, I don't know how long the video was, but I think I watched the full thing, if I remember correctly, or at least 20 minutes of it. And in my eyes, Travis Scott really didn't do anything wrong. What happened was, the police came there and basically Travis Scott rented a yacht. And at 12 o'clock at night is when he's supposed to leave the yacht. And he didn't, right? So that's already okay, you already violated that. Get off the yacht. You went over your time. It's like at a hotel. If you stay over a specific amount of time, yeah, they'll give you some leeway, some courtesy of hey, you got another 10, 15 minutes, but you need to leave. They'll do that for you. And that's what the guy did with the yacht. He was like, okay, yeah, you're a little over an hour of it. It's all good. Just leave the yacht. It is what it is. So when the guy came, who's the guy that's supposed to, so the person that owns the yacht called a guy to go over there to, check the yacht. That's basically what the situation was. So the guy goes over there, checks the yacht, goes into the yacht, and, when he's going into the room or the bedroom, he sees Travis Scott with a female just sleeping and chilling. So he's like, hey, you guys got to leave the yacht. Your time's already been passed. What are you doing? Well, then Travis Scott had issues with that, blah, 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 blah. Cops came. They got Travis Scott out. And for the most part, Travis Scott was acting civil, he didn't get too crazy or irate or anything. He did kind of, was kind of rambling on, yapping about a lot. But other than that, the police started to escort him out. And then what happened was, this is where the issues came. He said he had a green Louis Vuitton duffel bag. And he was like, I need that duffel bag. It's still on the yacht. When am I getting it back? And police were like, just chill here at your car service, because he had a big black Cadillac that was there that was waiting on him, and he was like, the police were like, just chill here, and we'll figure it out. We'll go over there and check on the green Louis bag. And Travis Scott was like, no, I want to go there with you guys. Why can't I go there with you guys? Well, the police were like, you were trespassed. You're not back. You're not allowed to be back there anymore. And then that's where the issues came about, right? So when those issues came, I kind of understood Travis Scott. Hey, I got a green Louis Vuitton bag that's over there, and, I got important things in there. That's what he said. So I need to make sure I get this item. It can't just be, oh, we'll figure it out tomorrow. No, I need it right now. But he could have just been like, yo, let the police figure it out and see. Now, the police have body cams, so I don't know if they would steal anything out of the bag. I wouldn't be surprised. Sometimes police, even with body cams, do bad things. There was a video I saw, actually, with police body cam where a guy got arrested. He had $8,000 in his jacket or whatever, and literally, and it was in a rubber band. It was $8,000 with a rubber band around it. And the guy was arrested in the back of this police officer's car, and this police officer still tried to steal some money out that $8,000, and he did. He stole $900, and the guy caught him. The guy heard his rubber band pop on his money, and he literally confronted the cop and was like, you guys need to check. So the sergeant came and, other police officers, and they were like, you need to check this guy. The guy that got arrested, he was like, you need to check this police officer because I know I'm missing some money. And he played it very smart. If you search it on YouTube, I think the title of the video is like, just search up like police officer steals $900 from person that got arrested or whatever. Like search something like that along the lines of that. You'll find the video. And it's like probably the best example of, even though a body cam is on from police officers, they will still try to do some shady shit. Some police officers, not all of them are bad, but you do get a bad bunch and anything and everything. So if that can happen to some regular guy, like it can happen to Travis Scott too. They can just shut off their body cams, potentially steal something from the Louis Vuitton bag. So I understand where Travis Scott's coming from, right, in that situation. But that's what I saw in the video. So let's go over the article of what he's trying to get dismissed in, the charges that he got. So Travis Scott has petitioned a Florida judge to toss his Miami trespassing case over legal technicalities. On Tuesday, August 20th, Scott's lawyer, Bradford Cohen, filed a motion to dismiss a case because there was a lack of no trespassing signs at the marina where the rapper was arrested for disorderly intoxication and trespassing in June, according to TMZ. Cohen further argues that Scott was technically arrested at the address of a private parking lot, not the Miami Beach Marina. The incident in question occurred in the early hours of June 20th and saw the Sicko Mode star handcuffed by police for causing a disturbance on a charter boat. According to responding officers, Travis got into a verbal dispute with the occupants of the boat and appeared drunk. After initially complying with requests to leave the marina, the rapper returned 5 minutes later and became erratic, police said. He was booked into Turner Gulford Knight Correctional Center on charges of disorderly conduct and trespassing property. After a warning, he was later released on a $650 bond. Yeah, so then the body footage came out. But yeah, I already talked about it. So yeah, we'll see. Lawyers are trying to make an argument that it was at a private parking lot and wasn't in a public setting, which I guess they do have kind of an argument. If you look at the body cam footage, they're literally just on the boat, like on the wood where you walk, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't even know. Yeah, they're just chilling there. And Travis Scott, he does kind of get a little bit loud. But other than that, he didn't, I don't think that's public. Is that public property? I don't know. That's a good question. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted. All I know is I saw the video footage. It didn't seem too crazy. I expected Travis Scott really to act out a lot more because I've seen incidents where he does act out a little bit more. But for the most part, he was pretty compliant, man. I think towards the end is obviously he was worried about his green Louis Vuitton duffel bag. I can understand. But other than that, it wasn't too crazy, man. It wasn't too crazy of a situation. But we'll keep our eyes posted and see if it gets dismissed. It'd be really good for him if it does. Speaking of lawsuits, DaBaby, man, this is what I mean, man. He gets into too many fights, too many situations. And to be honest with you, musically, he's kind of fell off. And I don't know, eventually you're going to run out of money if you keep getting into these lawsuits, baby. So let's get into the article. DaBaby may have to fork over $4 million to the brother of his ex, Danny Lee, over their infamous bowling alley brawl. We reported on this ages ago. According to a report from In Touch Weekly, Brandon Bills has filed documents demanding $2 million in general damages and another $2 million in special damages for the February 2022 fight. In footage of the ordeal, DaBaby could be seen throwing the first punch at Bills at a California bowling alley. After Bills collapsed to the ground, the rapper's crew surrounded him and began throwing punches, leaving him with several noticeable cuts and bruises on his face. Police later investigated the incident and looked to charge DaBaby with assault with a deadly weapon, though he maintained that his actions were the result of self-defense. When Bills refused to cooperate with authorities, the investigation came to a halt. Bills did, however, file a civil lawsuit against DaBaby demanding unspecified damages for physical and psychological damage, as well as coverage for his medical expenses. Yeah, in April of this year, Daniel Lee's brother hired a public investigator to track down DaBaby to serve him the lawsuit. Those efforts were unsuccessful. Bills then proposed that the court allow him to publish the lawsuit in the local paper instead, which they approved. He's also suing the venue, a Los Angeles bowling alley named Corbin Bowl. But the company filed a lawsuit denying any wrongdoing. Of course, I mean, I guess you can sue. Might as well just sue everything. Bills claims that the staff members present during the altercation had a duty to protect him from the assault, though the alley maintains that they were under no legal obligation to do so. I guess that's fair. If a judge rules in Corbin Bull's favor, the legal responsibility for the lawsuit will fall squarely on DaBaby's shoulders. So it hasn't been completely confirmed that he's going to be paying this, but that's a lot, man. If he ends up losing that, that's a lot of fucking money to pay. He's got lawsuits and a lot of different things, so we'll keep our eyes posted, but definitely, DaBaby needs to chill, man. Fighting people left and right is not going to solve situations. You're a multimillionaire. You got to move like a multimillionaire and let other people do your things if you really have problems with people, man. Or just stay the fuck out of problems. Really that simple. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted. I'm sure this is going to take another 2 years before we get an update because this fight happened in 2022, and here we are talking about a lawsuit 2 years later. So we'll keep our eyes posted if anything happens moving forward. Speaking of lawsuits, Outkast has decided to file a lawsuit. This is interesting. Outkast has filed a lawsuit against an EDM duo, ATLiens, for a trademark infringement over their name. According to a report from Billboard, Big Boy and Andre 3000 filed the suit in Georgia federal court on Tuesday, August 20th. The word ATLiens was invented by Outkast before Outkast created it. It was not used in cultural lexicon and did not exist. The documents read, defendant's use of I don't even know how to pronounce it properly, ATLiens mark is likely to cause confusion, to cause mistake, or to deceive the public. Outkast first coined the term in 1996 with their sophomore album Title. In their suit, they noted the EDM duo didn't begin using the name until 2012. The duo comprising defendant performs with masks on, therefore concealing their identities, such as the consumers will mistakenly believe that the members of the defendant are one and the same with, or at least somehow connected to plaintiff, the document states. The iconic hip-hop duo alleged they tried to negotiate an amicable resolution, but the ATLiens were unresponsive. That's wild. So Outkast even gave them the chance and said, listen, we don't have to go this route of suing you. We can make something work, or maybe you can give us compensation. Or they said, fuck no, they didn't even respond. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of these big people that are multimillionaires, that are big status, they usually give these smaller individuals a chance to make it right. That from what I've read. Right? See, Cardi B sues Tasha K, but before she sued and won and made all this money and, now Tasha K screwed, Cardi B gave her 4 or 5 chances to retract what she said and, take this down and, I'm giving you a chance. Nicki Minaj, I think the same thing when she sued that person as well. But yeah, you hear stories of these celebrities and you're like, oh, why is this big person suing this little guy and blah, blah, blah. 9 times out of 10, man, most of the people are reasonable, man. They'll be like, listen, just retract this, or just, say that you were wrong. And people have egos. People have, they don't want to, conform in any way possible. That's the thing. When you're working in business, nothing is going to go 100% the way that you want it, especially if you're dealing with somebody that's bigger than you. That person has a better advantage. That person doesn't need you. You need that person more than they need you. In these type of situations, you're going to have to conform more to that person if they're in a bigger status than you having to conform. For example, I know I'm going to mention 50, so take a shot at whatever you're drinking because I'm mentioning him again. But let's just say 50 wants to work with me, G-Unit Films and Television. And I have diverse mentality. I have my own brand, my own thing, making my own money, blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay, we're good. You can work with G-Unit Films and Television, but, I'm going to have to take control of this and this and this and about 60%, 70% of this. Now, for me, I don't like that because obviously I like to kind of creative-wise mostly. I don't really care about the splits that much. It's something that's there, obviously, because I need to make a living, make some money off what I'm doing. But to me, it's not always about money, money, money. I'm not really that type of person where I just need to make the most money out of a situation, right? So that portion I would be more, but when it comes to creativity, I get okay, now I kind of have this mentality of not that I'm right in everything that I do. Obviously, I listen to other people and stuff like that, but I do want to have a lot of creative control over what I'm doing because if I'm going to put a product out there, I want to make sure that I'm happy with what I'm putting out there, and that if it fails, it's my vision. If it wins, it's my vision. Like that's how I want to go off my terms of, if something, works or not. For example, if like 50 said, hey, you're coming to June at Films and Television, we're going to reshoot the Give It Your Die Trying documentary, but we're going to revamp this completely. And the way that I saw it with my vision, now that I have rights, like, because when 50 got involved, he would obviously clear the music. Like, you could use all the music. I'll be able to do whatever I want to do. But the problem would come in if he said, hey, you can't do it this way. We have to do it completely this way. Then I would be like, okay, this is not my vision of how I wanted the Give It Your Die Trying documentary to go. So I don't know if I'd be able to work with it. But as far as splits, I don't really care. Like, that's not a big deal to me. Yeah, I do want to make some profit. I do want to make some money off this. If I'm going to be taking time out of diverse mentality and, completely working with something else, then yeah, I do want to make some money off of it. Obviously, I gotta live. I gotta make money. So that I'm not really too worried about, though. Usually those things figure themselves out, and it's not that big of a deal for the most part, right? But yeah, in these type of situations, man, I don't know why this group, that's a smaller group that people don't know as well, didn't just conform to what, if it was reasonable. Obviously, if they said, use the name AT Aliens and it's over. We take 90% of what you're doing. Then it's like, okay, I can understand why it's like, okay, that's too much, man. You're losing your damn mind. But if they're like, hey, we're going to take 60%, you guys get 40 of using this name, blah, 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 I would conform to that. I'd be like, oh, you know what? This is a cool name. We could probably maybe even work with Outkast in the future, right? Maybe there could be something that could happen, where we can do something together. But yeah, that's just the reality of the situation. The bigger fish eats the smaller fish in the pond, and it is what it is, man. Outkast has worked their ass off to get to the point where they're at right now. So, they deserve that, and that's how it applies to every situation. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted and see what happens moving forward. Hurricane Chris, hey, babe, hey. So he decided to kind of backtrack what he's said against 50, and he recently did an interview with Real Life Productions, and then he's also done like a local news interview talking about what he said to 50, blah, blah, blah. And basically the gist of this is that Hurricane Chris that morning says he woke up to a bunch of texts of people getting mad. He got like 100 texts, right? And the reason why is because 50 said it's no more ratchet in the city. Now, ratchet, in terms of, just general public, view the word ratchet as something bad, right? When you say, oh, man, that's ratchet, that's ghetto, that's like, not classy, right? That's how some people view the word ratchet. But in Louisiana, that's a word that they invented, and they view it as something different, more special, right? I don't know the history of it, so I'm not pretending to even act like I know. But Hurricane Chris, when 50 said, it's no more ratchet in the city, he's going to clean the city up. Basically, that's what he's saying. He's implying. A lot of people that love Shreveport, that love the history of the word ratchet, got upset, so they text Hurricane Chris, hey, man, and Hurricane Chris is the one that has a voice for the city, pretty much, at least the biggest voice that's there. So he said he was heated off that, and that's why he acted the way he acted in the videos, which I can understand, but, I'm 29. I've learned that for the most part, 90%, maybe 95% of the time, I don't react to things when I'm mad. I usually take time out of the day. Usually 72 hours is the rule. Within 3 days, if you're still not mad about the situation, let it go. But if you're still heated and you still feel the same way, then, hey, let your thoughts be heard. But he reacted too quickly. I think that's what he's admitting to. And now he's kind of backtracked and said 50 can do what he does, and he doesn't have to check in with me. Like he clearly made it clear that he's not the type of person to make people check in with him. And he said, listen, I just want that hospitality, and you could have tapped in and just, said what's up and blah, 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 blah. So let's play the news clip, and, you guys will hear what he had to say.
Next thing that we're going to discuss, G-Unit officials are saying that 50 Cent is preparing to host another Human Harmony Festival in the future. And then his G-Dome that we saw is going to be permanent in downtown Shreveport. So are you willing to reconcile with 50 Cent and work with him in the future?
Yeah, bro, I'm willing to work with him. Like I told you, I think it's a big misunderstanding, and we actually need to sit down. Like, as he a dude that's from urban community, so I think he understand what I just said very well. I couldn't go to his community and rename it and without knowing that it was significance to the names that I was saying that we taking out of here. A lot of disrespect has happened, and I'm willing to sit down and we fix everything. I'm willing to sit down and talk and peaceful and just go have some drinks or have something to eat. Or maybe I could take you to my grandma's house and let her give you some real soul food.
So yeah, that's just like a clip of it. I can't really play too much because of copyright, but basically, continuing on, he said, first off, let me start by saying it's no hate for 50 Cent, the Human Harmony Festival. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad 50 Cent came to Shreveport. But where he went wrong in the beginning, when he originally came to Shreveport, the first thing he started to voice was no more Ratchet. This ain't Ratchet City anymore. If you know anything about the Shreveport history, we call ourselves the Ratchet City. And when a person says that, they don't mean that this is a dirty, nasty place. We have an artist, late and great, that died by the name of Ratchet Life, and he had the city in his hands. So it was a great disrespect for you to come into the city and say, we're getting the Ratchet out of the city. We have people under this ground buried that have had attached their name to their legacy, added Chris, who named his debut album 5150 Ratchet. And then he said, you couldn't go to New York and say, this ain't the Big Apple. You couldn't go to New Orleans and say, we're not naming this the Big Easy. We couldn't go to Dallas and say, we're not calling this the D-Town anymore. Yeah, so basically just saying that's where that, but this is what I mean. When you get mad, you don't have a clear train of thought. So when he was recording those videos, he didn't mention any of that. I didn't hear any of that in the videos. All I heard was, you're giving 500,000 police, you're not checking in. Basically, I know people, when I made the video previously that actually went viral on Instagram, it's got 1 million views on there. When I'm talking about what Hurricane Chris said, I know Hurricane Chris didn't say the word check in, but he's implying that. He's saying, man, you ain't even blah, 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 come, But Yayo got interviewed by Vlad, and even Yayo said, had Hurricane Chris just came to the event, 50's not a hater. He would have let him in and chill. And you guys probably would have talked. Like, it's literally that simple. At that status, if I was tapped in like that, like, let's just say I was tapped in Atlanta and Diverse Mentality, Quake, blah, 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 50 doesn't know, I would have just pulled up and been like, yo, Quake, people in Atlanta that would have known me would have been like, yo, let him through, blah, blah, blah. 50 would have probably been like, people probably would have told 50, hey, this is the guy. He's made a lot of connections here. He's done his thing. Tap in with him, blah, blah, blah. And that's how shit like this goes. It's really that simple. I don't see 50 being the type of guy that'd be like, yo, fuck Hurricane Chris. He's not going to be able to come in. He knows who Hurricane Chris is. He knows about DaBaby. At least most people know about that record. As much as people want to clown him and say he's a quote-unquote one-hit wonder, which I don't think he is. He has the Halle Berry record that did well. And then, he did the Mike Jones Drop and Give Me 50. He was featured on that. And they had one more record, I think, that did pretty well, man. So I don't think to me, is not really a one-hit wonder, but most people just know him for that song, right? So I don't think 50 would have been like, oh, he's a one-hit wonder. He's not coming in here. Like, he would have been like, yo, what's up? Like, let's. Now, would you have been able to have a full conversation with him? Probably not, because 50's a busy guy. It's a billionaire. It's moving around, making sure that Shreveport's a good place and Human Harmony is a good event, blah, blah, blah. So, I think you could have handled this better. That's what I'm saying. When you get heated in the moment, you're not thinking clearly. You're letting other people rile you up, and then it ends up, that's the impression that 50 gets, that clip that goes viral, the first one. And that's not what you want, man. You want an impression like this, where you're like, hey, this is where the misunderstanding is. And I wanted to have a conversation with you, 50. But would it have gone viral if Hurricane Chris approached it with a more calm video? That's the question. I think less people would have posted about it, because controversy sells. Like, that's just the reality of it. And right now, Hurricane Chris is literally doing like an interview run off of just what's happening in the situation. So we'll keep our eyes posted. I think 50 is a cool enough person at this age in his life and stage that he doesn't really care, like, to get into issues and beef with people. Even though he trolls on the internet, I don't think he doesn't take like 90, like in the Give It Should I Try documentary. I don't know if we posted this clip, but when I was talking to Red Spider, he said the reason why 50 wins a lot of these beefs is because he just doesn't care. He treats it like a game. It's a joke, while other people take it very serious. So that's been 50 his whole like career, pretty much. Even though he's gotten into some real street shit, some of the beefs he took were very, very serious. Some are just like trolling, man. It's not that big of a deal. He's back friends with Cameron, back friends with Fat Joe, all these other people that he beefed with. The only ones he's obviously not going to be friends with is Ja Rule, Game, and then even Rick Ross, because a lot of those stem from more serious things. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted and see. I'm sure 50 would probably be open to linking up with Hurricane Chris again. Method Man reveals that he's never made any money from streaming. This is interesting, so let's go over the article. Method Man has revealed he's yet to earn any streaming income from his music, despite his success as a solo artist and with Wu-Tang Clan. The rap legend made a surprise revelation during his interview with Wale Angole, head of sports entertainment at UBS, that was released on Hot 97's YouTube channel. While discussing the rise of artificial intelligence and its impact on actors and artists and creatives, he said, "I'm still trying to figure it out." So let's play the clip.
In your time, your style, your flavor, your voice, that was yours.
Organic, yes.
Yeah, anybody that bit or mimicked you was seen as a fraud.
Yeah, pretty much, yes.
With AI, they have the ability to take your whole aura, demeanor, voice,
yes,
and reproduce that for the masses. Give me your opinion on that.
I'm still trying to figure out AI, but I have seen some things that have made me raise an eyebrow. The Drake diss with the Tupac and Snoop, the fake Kendrick, it's a lot to it. I mean, I think it goes way deeper than that, especially when it comes to IPs for artists that came from my era.
Right.
Because, you know, honestly, I've never gotten a streaming check for any of my music.
Really?
I've never gotten a streaming check for any of my music. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure it all out because there may be someone who can make a perfect mix of the two where I'm not saying to accept it, but at least make art out of it. And that's what I'm always for, the creative part, the art of it.
Yeah, to me, this is wild. You know, I don't know, because Method Man is an older artist. So, you know, are people still listening? Let me see. I'm about to actually search up Wu-Tang Clan, Spotify history. Let's see. Spotify chart. Let's see how much streams Wu-Tang Clan is getting. Yeah, some of them newer albums, expanded editions, they're getting daily. We add a lot of these up. They're getting at least the top one that has 1.2 billion streams, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, is getting 459,000 daily streams. So I'm sure Method Man gets a cut of that, even though it's a group. Let's see just Method Man as a solo artist. Let's see what kind of streams he's getting. Maybe his contract isn't set up properly. Yeah, his best of album, which is his greatest hits, is getting 109,000 daily streams. Total, it's gotten 356 million. This is Spotify numbers only, because Spotify actually does public numbers. That's not bad, man. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a check for it. He needs to really look into that, you know, like, or maybe he doesn't understand like what specifically is a streaming check. That could also be a possibility, because it could just be written off the form of sales, and then you're like, okay, because technically a stream is a sale. I'm not saying one stream equals one album sale, one single sale. I'm just saying streams that add up translate to sales, right? You know, streaming equivalent, whatever they call it, streaming equivalent album units, right? So if you do whatever amount of streams, it counts as one sale. So maybe he just doesn't understand that. That's probably because he even says, you know, in that clip, I'm still figuring it out. So he probably did get a check, because it would be surprising to me if Method Man throughout when streaming became really something that people started making money and started using in 2017, you want to say 2016 is when like streaming started to take over. Yeah, from there till now, it's about 8 years, 7, 8 years. Be surprising if he didn't get a check for that. But a lot of artists are saying that. Snoop Dogg had an issue with it and said the check that I got was like tiny, it was nothing. So I don't know what's going on, man. But I know there's going to be an issue with Spotify and the labels pretty soon here, because they pretty much maxed out on getting new members in streaming platforms, because you can only get so many people to sign up to stream music, because there's still people illegally downloading. There's still people that use the free version with ads in between, you know, so it's really hard to get more people to sign up. And if they have that issue of trying to get people to sign up, then that means the revenues stop growing. So now they got to cut costs. Either they cut costs or they raise the prices of, you know, you being a member of the streaming service. But once you raise prices, that starts to alienate people, and some people start to leave. Right now, I think Apple Music for one individual person is $11 a month. So let's just say they increase that to $13 a month. Then eventually, 5 years down the line, they increase it to $15 a month. And it just keeps going and going. Eventually, you're paying $20-$30 a month to stream music, which, if you look in the context of things, it's still way cheaper than buying individual albums like we used to do. But in today's time, what it's going to do is just sway people to illegally go back to illegally downloading, illegally, putting it on their phone, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the future of streaming is, but it is looking a little rocky. I'm sure UMG is going to, like Universal Music Group and all these big-ass companies that, own the rights to a lot of these artists, they're going to, have issues. I don't know why these labels just don't fucking put all their money together. All these big companies, Warner, Universal, all these, get as a company together, all of them, and launch their own streaming service. Why are they doing it through a third party like Spotify? That never made sense to me. Like, they have enough money to invest into their own streaming, and just they'll make way more money because they're cutting out technically the middleman, which is Spotify. So I don't know. Very weird to me. I've always thought that was weird. Like, I don't know why there needs to be a company to distribute Universal's music. Why not just the label themselves fucking do it since they own all the music? Like, I don't know. That's a question that I would love to have for somebody that works over there that knows the technicalities of this. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted. I'm sure there'll probably be more stories of people not getting money from streaming. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to Golden Eagle for sponsoring this podcast. Yes, if it wasn't for Golden Eagle, this podcast wouldn't be possible. If you're looking for an energy drink that doesn't tear a hole in your pocket, Golden Eagle energy drink is the one you want to get. Golden Eagle has the smoothest taste with no aftertaste. You don't get acid reflux when you drink it, and you will save a lot of money. So check out Golden Eagle at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. The link is in the description below. And how do you think this podcast would be possible without me having energy to do it? Come on, guys. You guys got to remember this. I need energy to do this stuff, man, because there's a lot of crazy topics. So look how smooth this thing sounds. Look at it. Oh, my God. It's fresh. Look at that Golden Eagle. Look at the can. It's so beautiful, too, man. Look at that. That's so fresh, man. So fresh. Golden Eagle energy drink. Go to the link description below. That's drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. Let's continue the episode. A$AP Rocky, this is the funniest thing ever because I don't know what world A$AP Rocky thinks he's in when it comes to music, right? Yeah, he's married to Rihanna, a billionaire, extravagant life. A lot of people would love to live that. Not even hating on that. That's not the point of this topic that I'm talking about. The point is, musically, this guy is nowhere near relevant as he once was. That's just the reality. So why am I saying that? Let's go over the article. A$AP Rocky has shrugged off his beef with Drake, saying he has more important things to think about than his girlfriend Rihanna's rumored ex. The two rappers have seemingly been trading shots in recent months, but in a new interview with Billboard, Rocky downplayed how much he thinks about his former fucking problems collaborator. Why do they say it like this? Asked about his feud with Drizzy, he replied, "You got to realize certain guys was throwing shots for years. I ain't in the middle of that shit. That's not how I retaliate right now." Despite dismissing their brewing rivalry, Pretty Flacco still managed to sneak in another jab at the Six God. This is what he said. This is the funny line that everybody should be ha 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 laughing at. He said this: "I got bigger fish to fry than some pussy boys," he added. "It is real beef outside. It is real. Guys getting really clipped and blitzed every day. Guys sniping guys every day. That little kitty shit ain't about nothing. I got bigger fish to fry." Bro, you're married to a billionaire wife. What are you attached to the streets? What are you talking about, bro? This is what I mean, is like some celebrities, like they get to the point of like, bro, you're in the world of billionaires. You're nowhere near the streets. And if you still are, you're a moron. It's really that simple. There's no in between in this. If you're still attached to the streets somehow, then you're a moron at the fact that you're married to a billionaire wife. I know what he's saying. He probably has family members that are dealing with real life shit. I get that. That's whole different conversation. But to say I got bigger fish to fry when Drake is literally the biggest artist, period, in hip hop, like right now, you could argue that. I mean, just look at the numbers. I don't think people can't really debate when it comes to the numbers. Now, you could argue other artists, but I'm just saying, like, in modern time, like in From the 2000, basically his class, from 2010s till now, Drake is the biggest from that class of artists that came out. Kid Cudi, J. Cole, Kendrick, A$AP, 2 Chainz that started blowing up. Whoever else in that era started blowing up. Wale, out of all those artists, Drake's been the biggest out of those class, that group of artists. So to say you got bigger fish to fry is like, bro, you're lucky Drake even recognizes you as an artist anymore because you've turned into fashion, you've turned into whatever. Yeah. Anyways, I just thought it was funny. I think A$AP thinks he's like this because he's married to Rihanna, which I get it, right? That boosts your confidence. Now you got a family with her. You're married to a billionaire wife. That's amazing, right? I'm not talking about his lifestyle like that. I'm talking musically. You are nowhere near fucking relevant. Nowhere. So what are you talking about? I got bigger fish to fry. Drake should just ignore this guy. Like, that's one battle I think Drake should have never entertained from the beginning, period. But I know it has to deal with females. I know Drake liked Rihanna, blah, blah, blah. And to be honest with you, Drake and Rihanna would have been an insane power couple. We're talking 2 billionaires back to back. Like, they would have been bigger than Jay-Z and Beyonce. At least that's how I view it. But yeah, we'll keep eyes posted. I'm sure Drake has been taking subliminal shots on those new tracks he dropped, which I'm going to be talking about right now. Transitioning to that. Your boy Drake has decided to drop some more new music on his Instagram page, Plot Twist. If you don't know what that Instagram page is, he started that page during his battle with Kendrick Lamar, and it was a random page that he was following. Fans noticed he was following it, and in the bio, he had something like, Plot Twist was obviously the title. In the bio, it was alluding to potentially having more dirt on Kendrick Lamar. That's what people thought. And then eventually he made the profile page public and dropped 3 tracks, the one with Young Thug and 21 Savage, the one with Lotto, and then another one that he just dropped as a solo record. And now he's decided to drop 3 more tracks. And on one of the tracks, which title is No Face featuring Playboi Carti, he, I think, is subliminally dissing Kendrick Lamar and sending more subliminal shots at everybody that was dissing him during the battle that he had with Kendrick Lamar. So he's obviously going at Future, Metro Boomin, Rick Ross, A$AP Rocky, whoever else in the moment that was going at him, because there were a lot of people, but mainly obviously Kendrick Lamar. So let's go over the lyrics and see what he has to say, and I'm going to talk about why I think things could potentially escalate from here. So I'm not going to go too deep into the lyrics. It's pretty simple in my eyes. So let's start with the first verse. It starts out saying, "This is the shit that my daddy had raised me on. Guys got lit off of the features I skated on." So here he's saying, if it wasn't for me being featured on your guys' track, you guys want to be as popping as you guys are right now, which holds a lot of truth. There is a Drake stimulus package, kind of thing that goes around that if Drake jumps on your record, usually your career skyrockets. However, more recently, I don't think that's really had that huge effect. Like Lotto, I would think Lotto and Sexy Red, they were 2 artists that Drake kind of, did tracks with, and they didn't really pop off and go really that big. But that's bound to happen. Drake's not perfect. However, here in this line, like, you could easily point to Block Boy JB, who never, had a hit, and then Drake kind of jumped on that Look Alive record, skyrocketed. I Love McConan with Tuesday, and even more established artists like Future getting his first #1 record from a track that features Drake. So he's just popping off his shit, saying guys got lit off the features I skated on. Then he says, I gotta know how you get lit off the guy you hating on. This is where I think the line is going directly at Kendrick Lamar, because he's saying that how are you going to get lit, popping, and do all these insane numbers and get a #1 record off the guy that you hate, which is me. You have a song, Not Like Us, going at me, mentioning me. You get popping and crazy off that, and yet you hate me. And yet you're doing all this, circus of, having this concert that he had, Ken and Friends, I believe it was called, in, California, and just, doing the music video, having a good old time. And this is why I think he's talking about him, because when we continue the verse, he says, numbers untouchable, they got the data wrong. So here I think he's talking about, Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us breaking all these records. And in his perspective, he's like, that's probably boosting and fake. They ain't got the right numbers on that. And if you look at the overall data, I'm smoking everybody when it comes to streams. There's nobody that comes close. And it's facts. That's just the reality of it. The only person that's come close to him is Eminem, which is a huge testament to Eminem The fact that he's been out since the 90s selling insane CDs and now doing insane streaming numbers. That's the only person that's like really competed with him on an often daily basis in terms of numbers, because Eminem just dropped his album. But he's saying, I'm untouchable with these numbers. Nobody's going to even get close to me. And then obviously clowning Kendrick's Not Like Us numbers. Then he says, this is the moment I know they've been praying on. Try knock the boy off, but fuck it, I'm staying on. So here, people praying on Drake's downfall. All these artists that came up and attacked him, he's addressing that and saying, you know what? They prayed for these moments, hoping that they can get me out of the way, but I'm not here. You're going to try to knock me out, but I'm still here. I'm still dropping music, and they're still doing numbers. Now, in these lines, he talks about, his team and how they're always looking out for him and sending him music to constantly record on. He says, which is Oliver, keeps sending me slaps to go crazy on. 40, which is his producer, engineer, keeps saying it's time to be patient. So this is interesting. It's so many people we turning the tables on. Capo got plans, but we'll save that for later on. So I don't know if he's talking to Kendrick or he's talking about people that like, A$AP Rocky and Rick Ross and all these people that he's saying, listen, we have executed plans of how we're going to deal with all these other people. That's how I'm taking it. I'm more looking at it. He's going to mainly focus on the other ones as well. Because he had his thing with Kendrick and he's the one that really bowed out with the Hard Part 6 saying, you know what, I'm the one spitting facts. You're not. And this is why I don't want to do this battle anymore, which I think was a cop, but it is what it is. Continuing on, he says, hush, will keep saying they know they played it wrong. This, I think he's just saying that, these artists play their cards wrong by showing what their true intentions are, because now their careers won't benefit as much because I'm not fucking with them anymore. Then he says, KD, which is Kevin Durant, just texted me, what the fuck are we waiting on? KD's, been close with Drake and even helped like executive produce certain songs or whatever, basketball players executive producing doesn't make any sense to me, but hey, it is what it is. He said, me, I'm expressionless. Guys talking about don't shoot the messenger. Fire, fire, fire. You get shot for way less in here. None of you pussies is blocking my blessings here. What? So here, just Drake stunting, flexing, doing his thing and saying, don't get mad at me because I'm speaking facts on here. So the chorus is interesting as well. This is what the chorus is, and it features Playboi Carti as like a background vocal. He says, all these years throwing success in your face. All these baddies obsessed with my face. All the shit they don't address in my face. I can't be showing no stress in my face. What? Yeah. Now, if you guys don't remember, there was a moment where there was a photo posted. I think he took it with, what's that guy's name? Rubin, I think his name is. Mark Rubin or something like that. The guy who hosts those all-white parties. He took a photo with him, and Drake's face looked like it looked like he was stressed out. Like he had bags under his eyes. He just didn't look like, normal. So I don't know if he's addressing that by saying, I can't be showing no stress in my face. So, he might be addressing that. That was just an interesting line. And then the hook, the chorus, whatever, no face with Playboi Carti in the background. Then verse 2. And this is where I think he threatens to, send more shots at, artists to diss them more. That's where he says, I don't get sleepy off no melatonin. My therapist put in a 30-day notice. Meaning therapist is like, yo, I'm quitting this. Because when you put in a 30-day notice, you're usually out of there. Because I keep talking about beef and business and money and women. It's no diagnosis. They emptied the clip. Quick, swap that shit out, and I come back reloaded. So he's saying these guys gave me everything that they had, and nothing happened to me. I'm good. He's like, when I come, though, I'm coming back, but I'm coming back reloaded with more. You guys are done. You guys shot all your shots. You guys didn't do anything to me. Then he says, I'm just so happy that guys who envied and held that shit in got to finally show it. So he's happy everybody's showing their true colors when it comes to how they feel about him. This is where he threatens is like, hey, I'm going to keep this shit going. He says, I'm over the moon. Yeah, we'll see you boys soon. This is where I'm taking it that he's going to continue this. And then he said, I'm spreading my wings. I hop out the cocoon. I'm studio trapped and I'm locked in the room. This is where, he's threatening more by saying, hey, I'm in the studio consistently recording music, and there's going to be a lot more coming out as time goes on. And then the chorus comes again, and then the hook again. I wanted to work on a Drake versus Kendrick Lamar Who Really Won video, but, I'm kind of, with these subliminals keep coming, it's kind of hard for me to dictate if I should do that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments and just reach out to me and say, Should I do that? Should I do a history on their beef and then kind of cap it at a certain moment? Or should I just wait it out until, I don't know, when? I don't think this is ever going to die out, to be honest with you. And Kendrick did say that if Drake's continuously sends subliminals like he's doing right here on this track, he's going to go back directly at him, which I think Drake wants at this point. I think he wants another round. And here's the interesting thing. Drake launched a second Instagram page that he follows, just like the Plot Twist one. This one's private as well. The Plot Twist one started out as a private page, then he unlocked it, and now we get to see what it is, a bunch of songs, stuff like that, and the 100 gigs website. But he has a second page that's private that he's following. This page is called Indigo Child 369, and in the bio it says, first account made some people anxious. He's talking about the Plot Twist account because people thought, Drake was going to do a plot twist and reveal more stuff about Kendrick. In the bio, this says, first account made some people anxious. And then he says this, here we go again, round 2, fight. So to me, I don't think Drake is done. I think this track is just a teaser. And I think if he drops another 3-pack of tracks, it's going to be more direct shots. He's getting more and more aggressive as the tracks drop. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this is corny of Drake to keep doing subliminals? Do you guys think, are you guys excited? I'm excited, man. I like battles. I like that Drake is taking on everybody. Maybe I think the Kendrick thing is kind of done with. I think Kendrick did his thing. Drake did their thing. Maybe if we get another round, that's cool. But I'm interested in seeing, if he goes at Rick Ross, Future would be really interesting. Drake and Future, because they got some history. That would be probably a good one. Maybe not battle-wise, because I don't know how Future lyrically would be able to stand up to Drake. But that would be an interesting one. And whoever else he has issues with, I think A$AP Rocky is kind of a weird situation because, to be honest with you, A$AP Rocky I'm not a fan of. I could care less about him dropping music. He hasn't been relevant or hot in a minute. Drake, by even mentioning him, is like doing him a big favor. But, the Kendrick one will obviously be the best. Or, because there is some tension going on with J. Cole, maybe J. Cole might go against, I don't know, man. J. Cole, even though he bowed out with Kendrick, maybe if Drake decides to do something against J. Cole, there could be a possibility there. But regardless, I'm excited. Hopefully we get more of this stuff. It was really exciting in the beginning of this year, and it died out for a little bit. And, just a great, great thing for hip-hop as long as people don't get hurt. I think the Weeknd thing could be something really serious because that's the one where actually people got hurt. So that one, I don't know. That's another one that we could probably potentially have a battle going on. But Drake is definitely hinting a lot at the battle continuing, especially with this track. Let me know what you guys think. I'll keep you guys posted moving forward. Gunna. Shout out to Gunna, man. He's doing something great for the community in Atlanta. Let's go over the article. Gunna is set to help nearly 36 families in his Atlanta area hometown with a check every month for a year as part of his new initiative. The Gunna X BMAC 30349 Guaranteed Income Program is a collaboration between Gunna's Great Giveaway and the Black Music Action Coalition. It's set to launch on September 18th, but applications are open here now. Only families living in the 30349 zip code in the city of South Fulton, Georgia are eligible, and they will receive a monthly stipend of $1,000 for 12 months. So he's basically giving families that are eligible $1,000 for free for the next 12 months. This is beautiful because this also not only just helping the people, but this also gives more statistics to see if doing this as if the government did this, right? The government of all of America had a certain rule, like if you make, under 100,000 a year, right? And you get an extra 1,000, will it change your life? They actually did a study on this. I believe it was in Alaska, I think. The guy that was trying to run for president, Andrew Yang, when he was running, I believe in 2020, could have been 2016, one of those times, he proposed that. He said, listen, eventually we're going to start losing jobs due to AI. So eventually, we're going to have the AI that's working from the income from the AI, because the AI is going to be cheaper to run because obviously they can't get tired. The only thing you got to do is fix them if they ever end up breaking. But humans obviously get tired. They have emotions through things and blah, blah, blah. They have to deal with a lot of things. AI is just a computer, right? They're going to do their thing, get the work done, and blah, blah, blah. So it increases productivity and decreases costs. So if humans aren't greedy and if companies aren't greedy, which is a very low chance because they are very fucking greedy, then that would leave a lot of extra money to give to people. And because once you start losing jobs, you're going to need extra money. So they did a study in Alaska. They gave I believe it was, I don't know how many, 100 families or something like that, or whatever the amount was, $1,000 a month for a year. And literally everything positive happened. Less crime in the communities. Mental health was better. Just everything improved drastically. So it's like, $1,000 a month can go a long way. An extra $1,000 a month. So I hope they, with this thing, shout out to Gunna, round of applause to him. I hope with this, they also keep track statistically of like, how does this improve the community overall once people start getting this money? Does it actually go back into the community? Does it make, because here's the thing, if it improves the community, it also reduces costs. Because if you got to consistently, let's just say in an area where, everybody's down bad, more crime happens, more damage to community stuff happens, more thefts happen, a bunch of bad stuff that costs the city a lot of money to fix, repair, to, a lot of stuff, right? So if it reduces that, it's also going to reduce costs on that end. And there's a lot of like mathematics to it or whatever, statistics and stuff. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted, man. I really, really hope there's an update to this after the year is over. That's going to be one that I'm going to be excited about. I hope they do like something statistically where they show that, hey, it improved the community a lot, because the chances it's going to improve the community is like 98%. The two small percent is like if they just blow their money on dumb things. Even that, even if you blow it on dumb things, you're still putting back into the economy. So yeah, I don't know. We'll keep our eyes posted, but it's $500,000 he's in total giving away. $1,000 a month per person for 12 months, obviously 10,000. So 500,000, that's 50 families, right? My math is correct, because 10,000 per family. So yeah, you have 10 families, that's 50,000. And yeah, it's 50 families that are going to be getting income, $1,000 extra for a month. So that's pretty cool, man. Round of applause to Gunna. I'm excited to see the statistics from this, because that will tell us, does this model work? So I think they're doing it also for that, man. I think that's another reason too. Not to say that Gunna isn't doing it to help people, because he is, but I think this is another reason. It'll be interesting to see how that works going down the line. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted. Eminem's daughter, Hailie, I know you miss your mom. I know you miss dad, that Mockingbird. I always think about that song. She, on her Just a Little Shady podcast, talked about hearing Eminem's Temporary song and watching the music video for Somebody Save Me, which are the two saddest songs on Eminem's Death of Some Shady album. I love the Temporary track. I love the Temporary track. That song is like, I think, one of Eminem's best tracks, and I think there needs to be a music video for that. Instead of, I get that Somebody Save Me because Jelly Roll's on there and he's more of a superstar versus Skylar Grey, but I think Temporary is just a better track than Somebody Save Me. But she hopped on her podcast and talked about, just in general, about, hearing her father rap about her and how she can never listen to those songs, like, because she just ends up crying. And I understand that. Like, we get emotional hearing these songs. Imagine the person that's being written about that hears these songs. So I don't blame her at all. She though holds her composure in the podcast versus her friend. She starting to cry, which is kind of like opposite. You would think Hailie would be the one that cries, and then she doesn't. But yeah, enjoy the clip. Let's see what she has to say.
Speaking of things I watched this past week, which I guess I'll say watched, but like I refuse to watch again. The Somebody Save Me music video is out. And I did watch the thing. I watched it in entirety, and I don't think I can do it again. I definitely cry every time I hear it at all. And actually, Brittany put the little commercial snippet on today, and I was like, can you turn that down? Like, are you trying to make me cry?
No, I'm not. I haven't watched it yet. I don't know when I'm going to be able to watch it. I'm going to have to brace myself for that one.
Yeah, that between that and Temporary.
Okay, well, that I listened to, and it broke me.
I mean, I can't. I audibly sobbed, I think, for both songs, but especially Temporary.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, like, watching the video back and like listening to the songs, I feel like my parents did such a good job growing up where I didn't realize how bad things were. But now, like, as an adult in hindsight, it's so scary to think about. And I think that's why I get emotional so much. Like, just thinking that could have happened. And obviously that's the point of the song. But I I will say, like, if you've ever lost an addict or loved one, I feel for you. And yeah, that's how I feel about it. But it's a great video, and it's good. Like, it's fun to see clips of us when we were younger like that.
Yeah.
Even Mockingbird. But I can't even listen to that anymore without crying. Like, the older I get, the less I can listen to any of the songs. So, but it is fun to see those clips, just not in that context.
I'm not crying.
But yeah, no, Brittany's not crying. You're crying. I've done enough crying, and I told myself I refuse.
No.
So
The number one thing that is very important that Hailie says is that when she was growing up, she didn't even notice all this stuff. That's how good of a father Eminem is. I don't know about Kim. I'm not speaking bad about her or anything like that, because I don't know, like, but Eminem is such a good father that despite going through addiction and all these things that even Kim was going through, Hailie had no clue. Like that's why Hailie, because most celebrities' kids grow up to be just weird people. Like, no joke. Like, they just end up going crazy and weird, and just Hailie is the most normal looking celebrity kid I've seen for the most part. Right? Because I know some celebrity kids, they look kind of crazy, blah, blah, blah. Some are chill, blah, blah, blah. But Hailie's been the most normal I've ever seen, especially because of the status Eminem is at. Because you got to compare Eminem's status to, like, really big superstars like Madonna, Michael Jackson, all these, like Elvis Presley. You compare their kids, they got, not to say that, their kids are completely weird, but, you got some things that it's like, it's a little off here and there. Kids end up doing drugs or something like that. Not saying them specifically, but I'm just throwing, things out there. You see a lot of kids that turn out to be weird because of the pressure of their parents, because not proper parenting. So Hailie, just the fact that she said that shows that how good of a father Eminem was as well. That he made sure that regardless of all the bullshit of addiction and all the spotlight and fame, he made sure that Hailie was still good and that she lived a normal life growing up. She still felt like, get to enjoy her childhood and feels like still a child. So that was a beautiful thing about this. That's the number one thing that I noticed when she was talking about it. And just overall, man, Eminem obviously being a great songwriter, and her having to hear that music, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be sad and beautiful at the same time. Like, when Eminem passes, she's gonna still have that forever, and she'll be able to show it to her kids, and then her kids are gonna show it to her kids. And because think about it, in regular people's lives, now celebrities, just regular people's lives, we usually lose like track of our history. Like, I know my grandfather, but I don't know my great-grandfather, right? How many of us really know our great-grandfather or our great-great-grandfather? We don't know most of the time, because that kind of gets lost in history, But Eminem will be able to obviously be stamped in history forever. That's barring the fact that if this planet explodes or whatever, or history gets wiped out, Eminem will forever be here for her, and then her, as well as her kids. Their kids can look back and be like, that's my great-great-great-grandfather, because they can see all this stuff. But yeah, that's cool thinking about it. But yeah, shout out to her for speaking on it, being open and vulnerable about it. And yeah, just overall pretty great episode on the podcast as well. Let's get into New Music Friday. Travis Scott dropped days before Rodeo Deluxe version. Everybody's going crazy on it on social media, as they usually do. T Grizzly and 42 Doug dropped Detroit. Central C and JRK19 dropped, what is this, Bolide Nior, whatever. Lil Tyler dropped Mr. Ski, the album. Babyface Ray and Bossman D-Lo. Bossman D-Lo's got probably one of the illest flows out right now. Count Money. Cash Cobain dropped Play Cash Cobain, the album. And Coldplay, Lil Sims and Burna Boy dropped We Pray. That's an interesting combo. I got to check that out. Hits Daily Double. Album sales, let's get into it. Post Malone obviously debuted at number 1 with his country album F1 Trillion, and sold an astronomical amount of units at 245,000 first week. No surprise there. Chappelle Roan's at number 2 with The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess at 70,000. Taylor Swift, The Tortured Poets Department, is at number 3 with 61,000. At number 4, Morgan Wallen, One Thing at a Time with 59,000. Billie Eilish, number 5 with Hit Me Hard and Soft at 51,000. Number 6 is Zach Bryan, The Great American Bar Scene, and with 45,000. And number 7, Charlie XCX Brat at 40,000. Number 8, Noah Khan's Stick Season at 37,000. Number 9, Morgan Wallen Dangerous double album, which has been on the charts in the top 10 for ages, is at number 9 with 36,000. Number 10, Zach Bryan's self-titled album, 33,000. Going down the list, SZA SOS, number 13 with 30,000. Eminem, The Death of Slim Shady, is at number 20 with 24,000. Future, Metro Boomin, We Don't Trust You, at number 23 with 23,000. Travis Scott, Utopia, number 37 with 17,000. Kendrick Lamar, Damn, number 43 with 17,000. Eminem, Curtain Call, number 45 with 16,000. Number 46, Drake, For All the Dogs, 15,000. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City, number 47 with 15,000. And yeah, that's it for album sales. And that's it for today's episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast. Of course, powered by the one and only Golden Eagle Energy Drink. Get your Golden Eagle Energy Drinks at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. That's drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. They've sponsored all season 4 of the podcast, so show them love for showing us love. Spotify, Deezer, podcast, YouTube, all that. Have an amazing night, day, whenever you listen to this, and peace.